I tolerate men.
We live in a risky world, you know?
Yeah.
So I can say. And, we explore.
Men should always spend on a woman.
Appreciation is a big man.
Hi there. Need a ride? We've got you covered. With SKN Cabs, booking a ride takes 3 easy steps. I'm not that type of ride there. Come on now. Enter your pickup and drop off location. Choose your payment method. Get connected to a driver. You're on your way to your destination. If you're an Apple user, download SKN Cabs in the Apple Store. And if you're an Android user, unfortunately the app is still private, so you'd have to send your email to our WhatsApp. And also, remember to follow us on Instagram for all the latest updates, promotion, and maybe a few surprises along the way. So what are you waiting for? Download SKN Cabs now and follow us on Instagram. SKN Cabs. Transportation made easy. And see, we're still there in Nevis, this beautiful location with another guest. You know what I mean? Before going into the episode, remember people, the 2nd of November, we have a thing called Tricks and Freaks happening right there at the courtyard in Nevis, formerly known as V's Courtyard. You don't know, that's our Halloween costume party. If you don't have a Halloween costume, you don't know, just wear something sexy and come party with the prospective boss. Anybody from back in the day can tell you, V's Courtyard was the place to be in Nevis, right, Remy?
Yeah, man. That's why.
Speaking of Remy, we're there with another guest. Is it somebody who I feel like have a powerful story to tell, given the climate of St. Kitts Nevis now are growing into somewhat of a violent society. Feel like Remy have a story that can inspire you to do better with them life, you know? As a story of redemption, as some would put it. But Remy, what about?
Yeah, me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, firstly, of course, I appreciate the welcome. Yeah, and the request to be here, humbled by being in the same presence with you, you know what I mean? Because you are the hottest media thing out there right now. That's what everybody has said.
Well, that's subjective still.
Yeah,
that's subjective. I mean, hot things don't stay hot forever, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm not really put much into that. But we appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's something positive. You know what I mean? At a point in time, there was no perspective media.
That's true.
So we appreciate the compliment, man.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah. So who are you, though?
Well, first thing first, I originally from SK. Yeah, been living in Nevis for like the past 9 years. So I consider myself a full breed Nevisian as well. Yeah, but the only childhood stage, our phase was, you know what I mean, kind of unique, rough. Yeah, father was non-existent. No time from day one, no father. And, well, mommy went away, you know what I mean, leave me at a very tender age. Yeah, left me with some other relatives. Things wasn't going, you know, as smooth, I guess, as she would have liked it to be. But eventually I reached in the children's home, the St. Christopher's children's home.
Oh, like what caused you to get into the children's home?
Well, I mean, I used to run away a lot. Yeah, I used to run away a lot because I used to go through some things still, you know what I mean? Mommy gone, left me with a relative. And, you know, how little boys be kind of disgusting, run away from a lot of fool. Police end up following me at night when I run away in a bus, under the back of a bus seat. Yeah, somebody come sit down on top the seat and feel this weight underneath and call out to the busman and, boy, you got a child under here, boy. Nobody in the bus know me, so they take me to the station. Station
How
one.
old were you at that time?
4.
4?
Yeah, 4, 5.
Why? That is your age, man.
Yeah.
Like, look at boy.
You got to be that age because I reached children home when I was like 5. So real young, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's after some inquiries, they link up with the social services people and work out, well, we're going to take this young fella and place him in, basically an orphanage. Yeah, so that was a major portion of my life too, like almost 10 years. You know what I mean?
So you went through your high school and so on in the orphanage?
Primary school up to second farm.
In the orphanage?
Yeah.
And what was that life like now? From going from a regular household to now living in an orphanage?
Well, first thing first, in my time, I live like amongst 20-something boys, 20-something girls, like 40-something people.
So boys and girls were mixed in that home?
No, boys' home,
separate.
Girls' home.
Oh, but y'all would have mingled with each other?
Yeah, because we don't eat together, play together, but that's the sleeping quarters separate. So that's a big number. Practically all strangers, you know what I mean? 3 square meals is a given because it's a government institution. At least it was, because here he privatized now, but my time the government owned it, so you know for sure you can get 3 square meals, probably a snack before you go sleep. When it comes to like Christmas time, yeah, we ain't short of ties, Ross University and this club and these set of people just come down there and just load us down with gifts.
So as children, y'all were not mistreated in those homes?
Well, I can tell you how that come in. Not by those in authority. But remember, you're living amongst 20, 40-something other people. The age range for down there is like from 5 to 18. But they're flexible with it. Sometimes if you really ain't got nowhere to stay, they will let you stay beyond 18, 19, 20 until somebody take you out or whatever. You know what I mean? But the age range is really from 5 to 18. So while you're 5, 6, 7, you live with people, you live with bigger boys who 12, 13, 14, they ain't your relative. Yeah, so when a fight broke out down there, which happen often, you gotta sit on this side chair and then sit on, if you fight in a household, if not mommy or daddy, maybe an older sibling and eventually part down the places when you're fighting, yeah, it's a chair. You have to fight till you're exhausted or you lose or you give up, you know what I mean? Yeah, so those were some of the type of rough sketches.
So you basically have to learn to fight down there.
Yeah, man. You can't go to school as a group, one person get in a fight, especially if you get bang off and come back to the children home. The bigger boys, them down there will rough you up, you know what I mean? Yeah, get a little beating. So at an early age, you're kind of learning to be gang-oriented.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, that's important, like that whole gang-oriented vibes there. Like, it's an interesting factor, like the way you put it. Yeah, because basically, you have to look out for your brothers, basically.
Yeah.
Enough people don't understand that that's where gangs are formed,
Yep.
Yeah, like that. The basis of any gang is, the foundations of any gang is basically you looking out for your other brother.
Yeah. So like your fellow villager, your sibling or peers, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. So what was the most traumatic experience you had living in that home?
Boy. Well, this is what you saw, as young as I was, right? Family members are allowed to visit you down there. And so I wasn't so fortunate until more down in the latter part of my time being spent there. You know what I mean? So you will got them other fellas or girls, you see them there with their mother. Because children home, you see them, your parents dead, sometimes they just can't afford to
take care
of you, so they send you down. You know what I mean?
Are the living conditions,
yes,
proper
okay.
Social service have to come in, and yeah, I understand.
So mommy still could visit you, daddy, uncles, aunts, these things. But at a point in time, I wasn't getting any. But till mommy was overseas, you know what I mean? So nobody was really checking up on me. That used to be like just witnessing it and not getting it. As young as I was, I could recall in grade 3. I think my teacher was Miss Weeks. When they're telling every student to come up to the front of the class and say what you would like to be. And everybody saying lawyers, doctors, teachers, nurses, etc. I went up and I said, I just want to live in a house with my mommy and my sister them, because I knew I had sisters. Just that we were separate, like children home, but I knew I had them before I went in. That was my dream. It was kind of traumatic, you know? Not extreme, but as young as I was, every time I observe my fellow cohabitants, family, friends, whatever, come visit them, and nobody there for me.
So how come nobody was there for you? Because other than your mother, there was like grandma, auntie, uncle.
Remember, I tell you, I eventually started to get visits.
Oh.
But for quite some time, I don't know if the people wasn't aware where I was or what. For quite a few years, I wasn't getting no visit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Later on, I started to get visits by one to uncle and aunts. Yeah, but it wasn't happening in the early part. And when that used to happen, you always stood out in my mind. As young as I was, like always like, that's something you own as a child, eh? That parental love, cause you ain't getting any children home.
It's just basically survival in the children home. Yeah. So you said in second farm, you lived in the children home until second farm. How did you get to leave the home?
Well, yes, a cousin started coming around as well. And, you know, she will visit me for birthdays. She bring down cake, make me feel special. And she decided she want me. Because they used to allow me to go and spend weekends by her. Right? So, and that was going on for a few years, and then she decided, bye, she liked me vibes, she want me to live with her. So, you know, she had to go to the formal procedures, of course, through social services and the court and cause government trial. Yeah, so she had to go through that. And yeah, after all the paperwork and what's not, they handed me over to her. So I ended up going to live with a cousin around age 14.
And what was that now like transferring from the home now into somewhat of a family structure, like your cousin in charge, you know, and you go to high school now?
Honestly, it felt good, but I still missed certain aspects of the home.
Like what aspects would I say?
It's a lot of ties. Remember, we are kids, so it's a lot of people there. So when we got fun, we could play cricket, we could play rounders them time. You know, marble when it's pitching time.
Oh, you miss the social
fun.
aspect of it. Yeah.
I used to actually go down there. You know, sometimes instead of go straight home from school, I go down to children home and leave down there in the evening and then go home by my auntie. I miss it, eh? Yeah, I miss, you know, sort of them type of stuff down there. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I was done kind of while from children home days. So one of the changes was she was sort of Christian minded. So she's strict. Yeah, you know, I mean, me kind of done while, eh? Me go carnival or Christmas time, she had tell me come home before the sun go down. Children home days, I go home when everything done. So we used to clash a lot, you know. It was different, the type of liberty I done started to. I accustomed to in children home, it was different in those kind of disciplinary areas.
Yeah, I definitely understand because in children home, you know, have that parental experience there. And you did it from your 4 or 5 to 14. So that's 10 years. So you would have grown used to having your way to an extent in the children home to know under discipline now, where auntie, you say you're going to live with auntie, right? Yeah. So auntie now, you have to live under anti-Christian rules. So on start clash a lot. Yeah. So how was those years now with her? Eventually she throw you out?
Eventually I move out.
Oh, you move
out?
By
age 17. But, you know, I went to school there, and to be honest, upon reflection, yeah, she was the only, you know, you always want a little positive role model. She will say things to me, wise quotations, things from the Bible, which I was ignoring at the time. But upon reflection, that was the only person in my life that I could say I had as a, you know, positive role model. Because
like
I tell you, she was Christian minded. So, you know, there's a lot of positive things she would tell me, which you may want to hear.
At that time.
At that time. You know what I mean? I felt good being in a home too, in a house too. Yeah, I had another family member there, so, you know, nice little knit family. You know what I mean? Children home is one big TV in the front room. You're compelled to watch news at 7 o'clock. Only things like Disney channels and certain things down there regardless. But home, I had my own TV. I could have watched anything I want. You know, those little things were different.
When you like a freedom, you get some extra freedom. Yeah. So now at age 17, how did you end up move out? Like what caused you to move out?
Them times, of course, I don't know. Since children home days, I don't believe in the gang thing. I get in fights in school. I finished school, fourth form was my last 42. Yeah, of course, gang fights, you know, get expelled. She started demanding that I go to this school called Project Strong. And we clash over that too, but eventually, you know, heard what she was saying and start to go to it. Attend it for a while, but then done with it. You know what I mean? You know, I used to be telling her things like I will want to reach 18 because, you know, I still, even though I was kind of one way, I still used to respect her and not just do what I want. Like if she said me don't go somewhere for whatever reason as punishment, I wouldn't go. So I used to tell her I will want to reach 18. So I could do what I want. But she used to tell me I ain't go like that on the shoe, Yeah. But age 17, yeah, I just decided, I don't even remember, to be honest, what we clashed over, but we were clashing a lot 10 times. And then I done gang, you know, I then affiliated with gang. So now my friends them come in there who she really appreciate. And, you know, it's just all kind of different clashes. But I just went down one day and just packed my stuff and tell her, I go live with friends, Go live with some virgins, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So now, what was it like now, on your own at age 17, living with virgins? Like what kind of, did you go to live with one of your virgin family, or that friend was on his own living somewhere?
Virgin family, which makes it even more challenging. Yeah, so, you know, a virgin from the block too, what I look up to, you know, tell me, boy, just come, you could stay with us, you know what I mean? Of course, living there is, you know, have complete freedom. I don't have to worry about, you know, rules from my cousin and nothing. So the freedom is I could go out and come back home 5 o'clock in the morning if I want. Could go anywhere I want, basically do anything I want. That was one of the advantage. But like you said, you live with a virgin who live with the family, even though he give me my own little space, you know, you still ain't going in the kitchen go cook. You know what I mean? Still want to be careful at late nights if you're coming out and going in the people in fridge. You know? So, and you know, less.
I see me and come live with me are two different things, you know?
Less privacy and them type of stuff. Of course, you know, I got my girlfriend or two. Right?
At that time.
Yeah, so me got at that time, thank you. So I got to
Hi there. Need a ride? We've got you covered. With SKN Cabs, booking a ride takes 3 easy steps. I'm not that type of ride there. Come on now. Enter your pickup and drop off location. Choose your payment method. Get connected to a driver. You're on your way to your destination. If you're an Apple user, download SKN Cabs in the Apple Store. And if you're an Android user, unfortunately the app is still private, so you'd have to send your email to our WhatsApp. And also, remember to follow us on Instagram for all the latest updates, promotion, and maybe a few surprises along the way. So what are you waiting for? Download SKN Cabs now and follow us on Instagram. SKN Cabs. Transportation made easy. So you lived with your friends for how long? How long did that situation
maybe
last?
a year and breeze. Yeah, then I went and rent a place.
Was it a falling out that caused you to leave that place?
No, I wanted my own space really. You know what I mean? As I tell you. And my girlfriend at the time got pregnant. So you can't bring a baby in people's house especially.
Yeah.
That is what that prompted me to directly be a man and just move out and go get me one space.
And you wanted that family structure that you didn't have as a youth coming up.
Man.
So now, how were you funding your living at that point?
Yeah, good question. For a point in time, I had no job. So that's when you see the hustling start to go on. You know what I mean?
What kind of hustling?
I mean, used to you start a little small. Like sometimes, if I go supermarket and I feel like you could take up an extra tin of sausage or sardine or beef or something. I do that.
You mean take up teeth?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You ask for what's that? Me got a job, right?
Yeah.
I can't provide for myself, and I still the surviving for people still is still limited. You know what I mean? So I will make my little hustle, of course, and then if I go and I could get something extra, I will do it. Yeah. Not often, you know, I wouldn't go in and do it often, but if I see a way, I will do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You start these things small. And then I started like I started to get a little more grimy. Yeah, I started to do some robbing and thing, you know what I mean?
Armed robbery?
Yeah, man. Yeah, as we go on, you're going to see I end up in prison and all that, right?
Yeah,
that's a part of my life story. But I was heavy, afterward I get heavily involved. I was in gang, like war, fighting. And then I started to do a lot of crime in terms of robbery. You know what I mean? If I hear of a place that I know got loot, I will go at it. Yeah.
So you were doing these solo or it was as a group?
Well, you know, I gang related, and you later find out it's a bunch of us went jail together. You know what I mean? So solo at times, you know, of course we don't want to, you know, virgin and decide still. You know what I mean? Yeah, we young and we wild. You know what I mean? And even them who ain't got no reason, just love the vibes and we just do it. Because, you know, when you're young, you're just a type away.
Yeah, you're influenced by the group that you're in, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you move out, you have your little family together now.
I eventually got a job even while I live in there, so I could have maintained myself.
What kind of job?
Well, I used to work over Marriott's. Yeah, so and I was getting a good change from it too. Yeah, so that had me up and, you know, kind of stable for a couple of years. I had it for a couple of years too.
What kind of work you were doing at the Marriott?
Well, I was what do you call it? A houseman.
Yeah.
The housekeeper, them who go into we clean like the corridors, the railings.
Yeah, the
outside.
more difficult thing them. Yeah. So how long did that job in Marriott last?
2 years up until the year of my arrest. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was a couple of years, but.
And how was the family life now? Because within that time, your child would have born. You and your girlfriend stayed together?
Yeah, up until the time of my arrest.
So now, lead me up to that arrest.
Well, yeah. Well, as I tell you, it was not a crime, And but you got to know when to quit, why? You feel me? Yeah, you got to know when to quit.
So even with your job, you're still doing the robberies and so on?
Yeah, the robbery is there because it's extra cash, and you actually you actually get a kind of penchant for it. You actually do it sometimes just for the thrill of
adrenaline,
the thrill of it. Yeah. So even though at a point in time, honestly, I didn't need to do it, so I started doing it. Yeah, I will just get up and do it. You know what I mean? And of course, as I tell you, it's extra money. It's extra money, so. You just get up and do it still. Especially if you hear of a particular specific opportunity, you make the move. You know what I mean? Yeah. But remember, as I tell you, I was heavily, you know, involved in gangs too. So the night of my arrest. Oh.
You had? Yeah, what could I see it, man? Yeah, the night of your arrest.
Yeah. So the night of my arrest is, you know, man, it was gang issues, you know what I mean? Involved gun and knife and all kind of thing, and police chasing us off the scene.
Is it?
Yeah, so it like involved gun and knife and, you know, police chasing us off the scene.
It done at Mardy, you were convicted and everything. So what was the exact situation? Like what happened?
You in terms of where I went to prison? Yeah, so as I told you now, it was, you know, a gang-related issue. We and some fellas, you know, at the time on the other side. And, you know, coming off the scene, getting away from the crime scene, yeah, police end up behind us. chasing us, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a high-speed chase with these police, you know, up Victoria Road. Yeah, a crazy movie
like
type
a scene,
of
like a scene from a
moment.
movie. Yeah,
telling you, man. Yeah, crazy moment, but I reflect on it like not even like it was yesterday, but
So
like
he
it
was the
today.
driver?
No.
Oh, he
Four
was
of us was in the vehicle. Another individual was the driver. Yeah. As I tell you, it's me and 3 other individuals went in jail for basically the same set of crimes. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, you know, the shooting were involved. Yeah.
Somebody lost their life?
No. But
okay.
bullet holes was in the vehicles. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was a dangerous night all in all. A real risky night, right? And, you know, when the police them come and, you know, they shoot out with you and windscreen and all that. End up being had no choice but to pull up.
So any one of y'all were injured?
No, fortunately.
Wow.
Well, if the driver see this interview, he might, you know, he might say, boy, what that boy, you give me a love, but I could recall the same night when bullets flying, 3 of us could go as low as we want under the seat. But the driver got to see the road, so, you know, he come up in the vehicle, ducking from gunshot, but still trying to peep over. So he was the more fortunate one then, because the 3 of us, like I was literally trying to get under the seat in the back. I was in the back, trying to get under the seat because gunshots were ringing through the vehicle.
Police are shoot after you?
Glad. Whole heap of gunshot. I can remember the headline was "Bullets Like Rain." That was the headline for his story.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky that the driver, especially as I tell you, because I could even make car well like down and blast splattering in the car and gunshot to echo. Me could see him up there, and I say, I hope he ain't get hit, you know what I mean? Yeah, so he was more fortunate than us because we were flat than to get hit. But
no, he was more fortunate, he was less fortunate.
Well, he didn't get hit, that's what I mean. He more lucky than because we were kind of out of sight.
Him luckier than y'all finna get shot.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, pull over. You know, we come out the vehicle.
Yeah, come out the vehicle running or...
No, man, I'm going to shut out there. And you know, from they pull us over, they don't jump out the vehicle and come into which vehicle, busting shots still, you know. Yeah, so...
So how you survive that? Like, no get shot.
Crazy. We talk it all the time, the 4 of us. Anyway, you know, come out the vehicle, come out the bleep vehicle, you know, they're going to do it. We work it still, they're going to come talking in the soft talk because a big crime scene we just come after. They run us down after a crime scene, so they know. Catch us in a full suit of black. I still got my mask on, everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, severe police brutality.
Oh, them beat you know?
Yeah, you check it out. Like,
you're lucky in Jamaica. You would be assassin inside of me.
Why?
If that was Jamaica, at least 200 man.
Yeah.
Because them have all right now for killing me.
Yeah.
Because
to me, that's what I wanted to do. The amount of bullet holes in the vehicle, we just lucky.
Boy, no would say so.
Okay.
The fact that they didn't do it.
Oh, you mean come over, you're there, you can do it that kind of way.
If a Jamaica or a place like Trinidad, y'all remember.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because at a point in time on that bridge, based on what I was going through, I had preferred death over what I was going through. Man, I tell you, you know, so they handcuff me. You know what I mean? From we come out the vehicle and we face, of course, Shuckle slap on your wrist one time.
And beating start.
Yeah, I could recall a particular officer come and, you know, because I had a little reputation in the streets with the police. A few police know me because of a 1-2 things, eh? So one in particular come and say, boy, Rebel, that's a nickname I had. Boy, Rebel, boy, that's you. You know, just lift me up, grab me, take a pistol. Remember handcuff to the back, eh? Just flip it and just give me one shot to the eye. Like a butt. Yeah, my eye turned bloodshot with one time. Lift up my virgin. You know? The next one who was fully masked, they lift him up. Boy, playing all your bad. Bust a shot. I swear he get shot right by his face, you know what I mean? But the shot just, I guess he just doing whatever, eh?
Yeah,
my virgin tell me, think he get shot too. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, then the beating just start to pile on. One of the reasons why the beating was so intense too is that the vehicle had bullet holes in it too. So they were claiming that we shoot back after them. That's the claim. You know what I mean?
So didn't shoot back after them.
Well, of course not, right? But every vehicle come on the scene. Drug squad, the army jeep full of them, police vehicle, whatever. From they come, they carry them over to their vehicle. See what the bad man them do? They shoot after us. That's the claim.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you just chipping out them police officers. But are you crazy? I shoot after policeman, steel tip boots to the face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were gun butt. You know,
proper beat.
Yeah, proper beat. Like we call this one term. The shuckles, and maybe still never play with shuckles.
If you ever been handcuffed, you know, the more you move them at the tighter they get.
Perspective, the shuckle them start to sink so deep in my wrist. My wrist start to ooze blood. Like I couldn't feel from me hand. A few years in jail, I had shuckles on my wrist, shuckle print. Took a while for them to come out. For years.
Yeah, man, because if you ever been handcuffed, you know, the more you move them at the tighter them get, you know.
So
not a serious thing, man.
So this one particular officer now, this is the part where I tell that before that. Them time I don't get a crazy beating, right? One then come, drag me between the center of the shuckle.
So them are tight and pan.
Yeah. Them tell me wrist don't feel like a drop, like, you know, feel like, you know, a whole heap of weight on my wrist. And he dragging me, you know? And I couldn't take it no more. Somehow I muster up some strength and bounce up on my feet, you know? And they start to swing me shoulders, them like, stop hit me, you know what I mean? Don't, you know what I mean? Stop effing hit me, and you know, I going on with my thing because my boy, I really, really, really under a lot of pressure, a lot of pain, you know what I mean? Me and Martel, serious beating. He come in front of me and he crank a M16, one then come in front of me, crank a M16 and tell me, effing go down. You know what I mean? Yeah. And in my mind now, I walk out. But if I attack you, I make like I going towards you and shoot me. You know what I mean? That's why I choose. Yeah, at that point in time, because of what I was going through from them police, I had preferred that. So I attack him. I rush him like a bull with me head up. You know what I mean? Just for him to shoot and pull me out of that misery. You know what I mean? But he just move out me. So, you know, like I'm at to do it with a bull, with the clad. You know, I just said, I don't run straight past him. And then he just, when I turn around, he just kick me down and the beating intensified, you know what I mean? Yeah, more beating. So that's when that's why you see when I go on and talk to the youths, true, I have, you know, some personal experiences. That's one of the things that I tell them about, like, you could go through that and it ain't nice.
And nothing gonna come out of that.
Nothing come out of it.
So, alright, after that beating there, like, take me from that night now. What happened after them satisfied with the beating with them again?
Well, you know, the bigger pressure is imminent. The bigger pressure is imminent, which is charges. No matter they catch us hot off for crime scene.
So what were you formally charged with?
I went to prison on 16 counts. Right?
What year was that?
05.
2005. Right, so that's what? 19 years ago?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So what were the charges officially?
Yeah. 9 counts.
If you can remember some
yeah,
of them.
Of course, man.
So you can remember all of them?
How mean? 9 counts armed robbery. 2 assault with intent to rob. 3 shooting with intent to endanger life. 1 possession of a firearm and 1 attempted murder. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that means why I went jail and them was my charges. That's why I had to fight and battle in courts. There was my charges. Yeah.
So the night, because we don't want to move from the night yet. After that beating there, what them do after that? Them carry you all straight to jail or hospital? Hospital.
And I could recall when we went to the hospital, because they carry us to the station and bang us too. Yeah, when they take us off the crime scene from the beating, bring me down in a drug squad bus, beating in the drug squad bus. You know what I mean? From reaching the police parking lot in Bastille. To the word don't spread that they catch the bandits. You know what I mean? The police station outside in front of the police station full of people, like family members of the victims and, you know, all these things.
Oh, so what was the case? Like, what actually happened? Y'all went on a robbery.
We went more, you know, go defend, like for war. But, you know, in the process, robbery take place.
Oh, okay. So people were actually shot and injured on that scene.
No, nobody was shot.
No. But police got called. There was a high-speed chase and y'all got caught. So that word they spread because I don't know. St. Kitts Nevis is a small place.
Reaching for the station full. Outside in front of the station.
Because people want to see a who now.
Yeah, because I remember when we went on the scenes, it's masked man.
It's masked man,
People want to know who these masked man be. We catch the masked man them, you know. So, yeah, when we go in, this drop kick straight into the station, you know. But
yo, we don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
No, this is a serious thing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, real.
Yeah, woman can laugh now, but serious traumatic situation that fear.
And of course, nobody gonna kind of, you know, pity for you. Our compunction is like, kill them. So you're getting a beating heading in front of a bunch of, you know, basically an angry mob who feel like you is the people who come over and the ends come farm full. And the same scene, I get cut short sign, man, boy, rebel is you, and, you know, threats right on the same scene. You know? Yeah, went into the station, another round of beating, you know?
Everybody taking their turn.
Yeah, there was real vicious. Yeah, there was real mean, eh? Hang on front of the entire time handcuffed behind me backs. So, you know, we can block or prevent no blow. Wherever they want to hit you, you got to get it. At one point in time in the station, is on the ground, me and my partner them was, we 2 foot them up in the air, trying to ward our flicks. Yeah. And, you know, from there, of course, search by me home. So when I got back in my neighborhood, them time I badly beaten. Whole neighborhood out because, you know, they don't hear the story. It was a big thing, eh? Yeah, it was a big thing at the time. So the whole neighborhood come when I got back, got, you know, whole police squad come to search, saying how that whole scene look. And then when I
because them have to bring you go for the searching. You have to be there
they went
physically.
and get the search warrant from the thing just to search me place. Yeah, so, you know, everybody out, gone, my daughter and my girl there, you know? You know, tears are shed because I don't know it's a big jail time too. You know what I mean? I don't know I go in jail for a very, very long time, eh? Yeah, so daughter and baby mama shed tears and...
How old was the daughter at that time?
2.
Wow. Traumatic situation that time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and from the search, they eventually carried us hospital. They didn't rush to it, but we eventually reached there. Yeah, I had to go under like a head scan, you know, surgery on my ear. You know, of course, to the eye area.
That look at deformity point here.
That a baton straight across my face, Rasta.
I'll decide that dig area, sir.
Yeah, come right across, bust up my ear in pieces. That was one. I think that was one of the hardest blow of the night. I remember that blow vividly. Yeah, so.
Wow. As me tell you, boy. To be alive, them do you all bad, but had it been Jamaica and even Trinidad, cause me hear some horror story from Trinidad. Yeah, them y'all wouldn't have been brought in. Yeah, I'm not telling a lie. Especially from the high speed chase. Yeah, when I come out, man, I wet up. But continuing on now, so y'all went to hospital and case call. How much years did you get in prison?
15. That's why I eventually got.
15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
With a total of remission time, so I spent 10.
Oh. So now take me to prison life now.
Boy.
Going into from jail? Because y'all would have went to jail. Did you get bailed at any point?
Not me. Not I. The 3 others. Got
So
bail.
why not you?
I had my own charges. I got 16, they had their own portion. I had the most out of everybody because
Why?
I was wanted. The attempted murder had nothing to do with the night. I was wanted for the attempted murder. I was actually on the one when I went under rampage. So when they catch me, it's like, Ramie, Bobby, looking for you. Still out here doing crime.
That's why they beat you, sir. So you get a special dose of beat.
Yeah.
It's even like, you definitely would have been would have never made it out alive if it was Jamaica. Me not asking, man.
Yeah. Let me believe you, because I see some things on there. With the police and street, man, yeah, another like to clean them up.
No, man, me tell you, man, you don't eat and drink taxpayer money for Jamaica, man. If them they bring you home from Pandy Bridge, the K9 van,
yeah,
he tried to escape, and what was done was done. Me I tell you, especially you were wanted. No, man.
Yeah, wanted.
So you're saying you never got bailed.
No.
So what was jail like? No.
Yeah.
Before prison. Because you have a system here where I'll stay in jail for a while, or is it straight prison?
You got this station cell, you spend 3 days.
Oh, and then you get sent out.
Yeah, that's until you get charged and go to the court and they send you over.
So what was that like? No.
Prison? The 3 days.
Not the 3 days. That light, man.
Yeah, very.
Because was that your first time going to jail?
I had catch a be charged early up in the year and had to spend mostly a couple of days and then get bail. So I was still on bail. So I was on bail for Mabby.
Plus,
I was wanted for an attempted murder and they still catch me coming off a crime scene.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you definitely then couldn't get bail.
No bail for me.
Right.
Everybody, the other 3 got bail. I had to stay in there until I finished my time in TS freedom again. Until I went 2005 until 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you spent a lot of time in a prison, man.
Yeah, man.
No, what was prison life like? No, take me through the prison life.
Of course, that's an entirely different lifestyle. Yeah, India. What makes it so different is that you don't own yourself. You're governed by a whistle and officers, those fellows in the khaki tell you where to go, when to eat, when to sleep. That in itself is, something mentally perturbing. You know what I mean? Yeah. You go in a cell and it's 15, 16 other men. You're accustomed to that. You live in your little household with your family and you're good. So that in itself is something different. Because the prison designed to hold 60 prisoners. Around my time, it fluctuating between 300 and 290 something. So you know what I mean?
Overcrowded.
Heavily overcrowded. Heavily overpopulated. Heavily. So, lot of man, including myself, is undergoing me asleep on a blanket. It's a big difference in comparison to sleeping home and your nice, cozy, comfortable bed. You know what I mean? Yeah, wow. that is of course one of the major differences. Sleeping quarters is just different. People stepping over you at night to go to the chair or to the bathroom. So you're in the center of the floor.
So you sell at a toilet?
But not a regular toilet. One of them is a concrete structure with a basin, like the seat in the center. So you defecate in there like when you defecate in a shit pit. You gotta stoop over.
And that stay in the cell.
And flush it with a bucket of water.
Oh, it can flush.
Yeah, with a bucket of water. Because there's no lever, however you call that thing, eh? Yeah. So, of course, lack of privacy in your home when you defecate. You lock up yourself in your bathroom and you either do it on your phone or whatever you do, you're at peace. In there when you're defecating, especially in places like lockdown, the most you could do is turn your back. If a man in lockdown, going to defecate the slang in jail is mass out or pass out. Right? That's the slang. So when you hear the term mass out or pass out, a man pulling his head to you, he shot over his face. You know what I mean? And the most you could do is the most you could do as cellmates is turn your back. So you right there and a man right here defecating, you're hearing every drop. Of course, this scent, you know, your mass out, penetrating wherever you got over, you know? You as the individual who on the third, you still feel, we who there will be back on, we feel awkward. You hear a man defecate and all that. If you got a walk belly, you know how them sounds there be. You hear everything, right? But the individual on the toilet, you still feel awkward. You got enough man coming in the prison and then defecate in 2 weeks. The environment just changed the bowel movements. They got to go doctor for pills or whatever. It's just different there. As opposed to when you're home.
So people no break down in there?
Yeah, man.
Because
common assault.
Basically.
Yeah.
What common assault mean?
That's the happen regular, you know? You got a couple of youngsters in there, you know, unfortunately. You know, yeah. No
so,
people going there.
How's the condition? Because we hear stories a lot of times. How's the conditions in prison in St. Kitts?
Deplorable. I just label it as India. I just label India as a hell beyond expression, you know? Definitely were built for slaves. Up to now, well, can't say up to now, but during my 10 year, the roof leak every time we come. So those who undergo got to find maybe a table, then white table to sleep and then them things, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, you get up at morning and brush your teeth, just a chaff right there, so a lot pipe chaff thing, and the toilet right there. So even when you're there brushing your teeth at time, a man right there defecating.
How about food? How's the food in there? Like what kind of food y'all would get?
Hogwash, man. You know, let me tell you, India, the national dish was bakanek and rice, you know what I mean? You know, the bakanek, you could cook bakanek out here and it tastes nice. People don't even sell bakanek and cook up out here. Not in there, man. They're straight on a big platter and shove. Because that's what man they're feeding. You know, try the chicken them on a big platter, they shove it in the oven, get it time and pull it out. So enough time you just enjoy out piece of bakanek.
If bakanek a chicken back for the Jamaicans who watching, chicken back that, you know, just a beer bowl and little bit of meat, you know. Yeah,
so, you know, from time to time they flip it up. They had a garden, so in between, every so often you get some soup. Cause they eventually get a garden and
so what were your coping mechanisms to do 10 years in prison? Like, how did you cope through that time?
I read. Yeah, I became a literal bookworm in there. You know what I mean? Remember I tell you I get out of school in 42. Me had brains. Me had no done. And I walk out after a while. I had 16 charges. And my first count, I get 12 years. That's different to the 15 I did. I got a 12 years at one point in time. I went appeal and won it, Yeah, you know what I mean? But after that 12-year sentence that I got, and my first count with 15 more charges to go, I said, why no? As a poor man, you know, nobody who ain't really got no good family back at it, me ain't got no lawyer, nobody paying for no lawyer for me. But you got brains, delve into some books and try to fight your way out. So I actually started reading books in an effort to regain my liberty. Yeah, so I started reading like...
How did you gain access to those books?
They had a library.
Oh, they had a library.
Yeah.
And the library had those kind of illegal books. Okay.
So, I mean, I started out reading novels with courtroom dramas, you know, any movie with courtroom vibes and stuff. Yeah, and I would take out certain specific jargons, you know, certain specific phrases or statements or sentences or whatever, and try to internalize them so that when I go down, I actually sound official like a lawyer because I'm seeing these things in books. You know, that is apart from learning the law, because I eventually started to learn the actual law. Yeah, but I started reading.
Also, during your case, you were defending yourself.
Yeah,
you were representing yourself.
I was known as the jail lawyer. Defend myself so good that I started helping other people win the case. Yeah, I got real good at it. I won a lot of cases. Yeah. Trust me.
So after 16 charges, you end up with only 10 years. How much years you were sentenced to?
15.
You were sentenced to 15 years. So basically, a year per charge, you end up with them.
Yeah.
How though? Like, how did you come down to such short period of time for attempted murder, assault?
I win most of my cases.
Based on what? Technicalities?
You know, I had a good far through one in particular. The attempted murder charge was with a foreigner who went back home. We couldn't find him after a while. So that had to drop. You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
so this is the more serious one.
That was a big relief. But you know, I fought cases directly, you know, representing myself, trying to tie up witnesses, asking the pertinent questions to vindicate myself from the courtroom system. Yeah, and I fought some case as well to the Constitution. Yeah. And a lawyer assisted me. Chesley Hamilton assisted me with the Constitution book, and you know, I find an area there that I feel I could have gone and win based on unreasonable timing. That case in particular, I could have. Yeah, that was a big burden off my shoulders because I don't do in big time. Yeah, and that year is in the same bracket as the time I was doing, so I could have been facing consecutive big time, you know? Yeah, but there was this particular chapter in the book, I think it's chapter 2, section 10, if my memory serves me right, where it states something like any person who is charged for a criminal offense shall be afforded a fair hearing within a reasonable time by an impartial court established by law. Something like that.
Right.
The key words there for me was reasonable time.
No, something will kind of stand out to me. How were you able to actually not get lost in the system? Because you don't come from a big family. You're representing yourself. So your case could have just been put off for years and years and years. A lot of people have that story where they're basically put off for years and years and years. So by the time them case get called, them done serve the time within sentence to. How come you were able to fight your cases within reasonable time periods?
Well, that's at a particular case that I fought with the reasonable timing from the Constitution. At the time, I was 41 months in. That's 3 years and about 5 months.
Yeah.
Charged for this particular offense. All them time I don't lose it. I don't do jail time. I don't do jail time. I think then time I do me 12 years, I think. That I end up had to go appeal and win and so. Right? Yeah. So, you know, that when I saw that and I said, man, I must go find a case. Them time I don't win in cases too. I don't have a little experience in the courthouse. So when that time came, I said, I believe, you know, that I could represent myself with this and just get the judge a good enough reason to throw out the cases because of unreasonable time.
Okay, so you find all the little loopholes. Now, in prison, what was the most traumatic experience you had in prison?
The riot.
What
I experienced one riot in there.
What riot was that?
2007. You know, an individual was singing and, you know, he was shot in his throat for singing.
By a word.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, and that was in lockdown. When we in lockdown is such a restricted place, you know. 3 people, when you're in lockdown, when you lie down, your head touch the door, your foot touch the toilet. You know, small space, and it's, you know, just one big red, you know, wall, and a big red gate with just a slatch, right? That they come and feed your boy. They come, they pull the slatch with the platter, you know. They come with your bowl, you push through your bowl, through the slatch and the platter, they close it back in your face. Go for your food, bring it back, unlock the slatch, shove through the bowl, you know what I mean, through the slatch. And
it's like a mental asylum.
Yeah, man, watch you like animals, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the liberty. I mean, it's jail, whatever, but you just feel like animals, you know? Yeah, you just feel like animals in there because them kind of liberty just ain't normal.
So the
on the
guy was
outside.
shot in his throat for singing.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so that was in lockdown, but inmates in population didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't like it, and so they sort of rebel. This particular cell, all the inmates them took up a bunk bed, big heavy bunk bed. You know what I mean? And just ram a door, bust it open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bust it open, and the officers then that were on duty had to run for their life because the inmates then come out with shank and come out hurt because they just didn't like the act that was committed. It was the night before, it was the early morning, the next morning they were at kick-off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, of course, the officers then go on, but they're going to call it advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, real officers came now because the prison officers, they ain't got no gun, just baton. So, the real officers came now.
Wait, but you said the guy was shot in his throat?
Yeah. With an FIG, not with live gun. You got a rubber bullet.
Oh, with a rubber bullet. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like a big,
Good clarity. Good clarity there.
Yeah, he was up without voice for a few weeks, man. Big red thing in his neck, you know what I mean? It was real nasty. Mm-hmm. But then, they called for...
So only 3 people got out of their cells or the entire prison?
Well, the cell that was open, that cell alone had maybe close to 20 people. Mm-hmm. And a few other cells got out.
Oh,
but maybe 2 or 3 cells got open. Mm-hmm. So you had a good handful of prisoners in the yard roaming, try to take over the thing, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But backative come. So when the backative come, they come shooting live rounds.
So your cell was one of those cells that got open?
No, I was in lockdown to the back.
Mm-hmm.
I was on condemn black. Yeah, so they didn't get to reach Benny to free nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But as I was telling you, real police come. At this time, some Jamaicans was around. They come in shooting people with live rounds. Yeah. One guy, still up to this day, got a bullet lodged in his back. One of them shot in the face. One of them gets shot in the hand till two of the finger them is like crippled up. His local police got to come in and tell them, what the hell wrong with you? I come in here, they're supposed to come in FIG, go a bullet, but they come in shooting with live rounds.
But I tell you about Jamaica.
So when the prisoners them pour a white shot when they come in shooting live round, pour a white shot and a broomstick and wave it to them to say we surrender, they say shoot that out the air. The Jamaican police them. They want a peace treaty.
Let me tell you about the Jamaican thing, bad man. I tell you.
They want a peace treaty. They say shoot it out the air,
When you come on to Jamaican, if you're a criminal in Jamaica, whether you're convicted or not, man.
Mm.
The man they judge law and prosecution in a one, man. Yeah. So me definitely understand what you say. Yeah.
But
the riot. Oh, the riot.
The other officers them coming. Local officers them reaching and met them done with that. The live round shooting, but the FIG shooting started, Yeah, that man get shot that day. Beaten, broken ribs, head bust open. They take out everybody out the cells and sweep the cells, literally, like even your book, your pen, pencil, your cup, your bowl, they sweep each cell in the jail. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they feed you like a quarter bowl of food. If you're getting tea was like a quarter cup of tea. They had the jail on the real lockdown. And on the real punishment for that way there. But
for how long?
A couple of weeks because jail man start to strike and walk over. No, we can't take this thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, so then I had to kind of
So you say it was uncondemned black. Why you were under uncondemned black?
Well, condemned black remember the jail overpopulated. Mm-hmm. It's just that that's the only space they had. So I was on black with people who was literally uncondemned black. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you got extra cells because just a few people was on death too. Condemned black is death too.
Oh, okay.
So they just shove prisoners in there when they misbehave. So a lot of people end up behind and they condemned black as well, but not on death too.
Right. Now, prison is supposed to be a place for rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. Is there actual rehabilitation happening in prison in St. Kitts?
Yeah, well, during my time, we had some efforts, We had an alternative to violence program. Mm-hmm. anger management classes.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually start to get sick. They eventually got CXC classes in there. I did, which some subjects I did as well. Yeah, so they had a few rehabilitative programs.
So what about, I would see the guys on the street like cutting down trees, cutting grass and so.
No, that's just hard labor.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, most time you get sent. I get 15 years hard labor.
Oh, so you're one of them who would have been on the streets. So that kind of liberating. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
That kind of liberating for go on road, go do some work.
Yeah, jail, man. Sometimes what used to be, comedic. So man out here, they want to work for money. You tell them, try to get them a job, they want to work. But when they go jail, they put up their hand to work for free. Just to go out on the street to see some people.
Oh, okay,
because, it's refreshing to see a different set of people than who you live with every day. Remember, prison is like, it doesn't have to be your house, but it's like your home for the time being you're there. Who you live with, share a cell with them is like your housemates.
Right.
You know what I mean? You see them every day, you hear them every day. And these type of things.
So what about people who commit like some heinous crimes, like sex crimes or them kind of thing? That those people are treated differently by the prisoners?
Yeah, they just be careful with them. They have certain cells that they put, what you call them, trustees. So those kind of individuals, when they bring them, they just chuck them in the cell. They won't let them go in population. And they certainly won't put them in certain lockdown cells with certain individuals. Yeah, so they more put them in. Yeah, there are a couple of cells that they just put them, good heart people.
So during your time in prison, has there ever been anybody killed as a prisoner in prison?
I see a few people dead in there, but not to say in gang violence, if you know what I mean, sickness. And neglection, however we want to call it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen about 6 to 7 people pass while in India.
Right. Now, one of the things that you said earlier was that you and your girlfriend or your baby mother was together up until the point that you got to prison. Did your relationship last throughout your prison sentence?
No, man. Yeah, realistically speaking, me expected it to. Yeah, because I know I was doing a big time, so I actually sort of advised her to move on. Yeah.
So how you deal with that now mentally, knowing that, hey, not even my woman, man, I have no.
Yeah, that's that. I always tell people you could avoid the physical battle in jail,
but the mental
battle is what you can't avoid. That's the hard. You got to be mentally strong in jail. Yeah, that's the hardest part of jail. When you go to them things, like for example, she got pregnant, she boyfriend, she got in a relationship and got pregnant. And when the news came in that your child mother pregnant, the walls start feel like I was getting asphyxiated. The walls then feel like they were closing in on me. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Mentally tormenting. What could you do? You can't even call her to say whether you want to vent or say congratulations. So you didn't even have access to communicate with her, just hearing things.
So were your family is there for you during your time in prison? Like you get visits and stuff from family?
In particular, I got a couple sisters. Yeah, and there was like the bedrock support for all them years.
Right. Now you spent 10 years. Did you come out on good time or you served the entirety of your sentence?
So with time, that's why I went in from 2005, come out 15. You know what I mean? So with time, but I came out now with a better mind frame.
What was it like now rehabilitating to society? Like getting used to, because you come back 2015. I mean, as simple as big clothes was the thing in 2005. 2015, now tight pants are wear small clothes.
That's the first thing I'm going to tell you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I said, 2005, baggy jeans, I do it. Yeah, me come out of jail, I want back my baggy clothes, but my lady, my girlfriend, I came out and I met a girl in jail, nice lady.
Yeah?
Yeah, come out. That's what pulled me nervous.
Oh, Okay.
You know, that's what. So you know, when I tell you, girl, we got some serious war over that because she just said she ain't walking with me. Just eating her clothes bigger than she. You know what I mean? And shut me long time clench shut them and So that in itself I had to go to it because about the killer say can't believe tight pants come in again, them is true I walk to back then. So I thinking about what tight pants are telling about baggy pants for life. But then what I started doing when I got to observe individuals, I look to see what the dress code. She's okay, that's one challenge at home. Let me see for myself. So like when I got on, I just watch people. So I realize everybody wearing that's the style, you know what I mean? Right. Smaller clothes.
So now as a ex-con now, what was life like now getting a job within this small society? Yeah. Because everybody knows say a prison you come from. So what was that like now for you actually get a job?
Of course, challenging. Yeah. Sorry. I went to go look at job, but most places got that little part and the what you call that thing?
Application form, yeah.
You have a criminal record. Yeah. And this is the day and age that you don't make no sense. Like all I got to do is Google. If you Google Ramie Gumbs, the seat shop, you now went to prison. If you Google it, you know what I mean? So I got to tell the truth. So I could remember I went one time to this particular supermarket. And I came up with subjects, right? Came up with 5 subjects. I tried them. Remember I get out of school? They had a CXC program. I said, let me try see if I could go up with some subjects. So, just for purposes of clarity. Yeah. Just for the purposes of clarity, I did maths, English, principle of accounts, principle of business economics.
Yeah.
Those are the 5 that I had.
You must can get a little work with that.
Yeah, and the results were good. I got a 2 in maths and a distinction in all the rest.
All right.
Got a 1 in all the rest, you know what I mean? So I came up with that, So, when you're filling out the application forms, you'll feel good writing those stuff. But when you reach the criminal record part, you got to put it through. I get a call from an insider from the supermarket. Boy, the man said he was impressed, at reading the thing. But when he reached that part there, so he can't employ you. Went to a particular hotel, spoke with, the person in charge of the particular department that had, vacancy. And he was impressed because I wasn't hiding. Let him know I went to prison, so 10 years, but I rehabilitated, I was looking at chance, you know what I mean? Opportunity to prove myself. He was impressed. And he assured me, you're going to get the call and get the job. I get the call. Yeah, but the call was, unfortunately, when the information reached who above him, said they didn't want those kind of people walking around their guests. So that's another turn down. You know what I mean?
So what kept you from, basically, some people would say, the quote or the words would be, you're institutionalized. What kept you from basically reverting back to the life that you were living before going to prison and actually keeping the faith and trying to get on the street?
Yeah, I developed a mind frame in prison. I came out with a mind frame that I want to flip the script in my life, right? You see, prison, remember I tell you I read a lot. You know what I mean? To me, you don't really mature with age. You know what I mean? You mature with wisdom, knowledge. So the more knowledge I started to get in prison, the more mature I started becoming mine, and I started really doing some deep introspection and asking myself, but this is the type of life you want to live forever? And of course, the answer was no. Started asking myself that, you know what I mean? Yeah, so from since in the prison, I done challenging myself that, but when I go out, I want to flip the script in my life and just done away with the gang thing. You got a lot of brains. See if you could do something constructive with your life, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I came up with it, so it wasn't too hard. Some temptations came about here and there, but I was solid. As I tell you, the madam, so I came out to live with, good support. Yeah, that's why, even though I was looking work, that's just me as a man wanted to make me own, but I was really strongly supported. I really wanted none.
Yeah, but the rehabilitated mind wanted to provide for itself.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's a reading mind. And a reading man is a strong man, you know.
Yes.
So now, how did you get a job?
Oh, yes. So I eventually now decided, man, let me go to the government, the ministry, right? And let me see if I could just play my case and see if I get lucky. So at the time, I went to here's Brandy Williams, me if you're familiar with her. Okay, yeah. So she was the minister.
Me and Navy solution. You must know these people.
Then. So she was the minister for the department. You know what I mean? I actually went to her because I didn't know. I just went to her because to see her on the prison ban.
What department was that?
Social services.
Oh, social services.
So, but I didn't know about the department, anything. I just went to her to try to get a job. As a matter of fact, one of the things I did in prison, every subject I passed, I taught. I was a literal teacher in prison. I used to teach inmates. The same subjects I pass and lead them to CXC passes. So I had good experience in teaching, right? For a couple of years in the jail. So I came out and tell them, I got these subjects, please, you could please give me a job. I want to do some teaching. But, you know, she tell me that's not her ministry and so forth, but she will see, you know, see if she find a spot for me. And that's after, of course, them interviewing me and everything. I was interviewed by 3 of them from the PS and the assistant PS, along with the minister. 3 of them was there while I played my case. And of course, I tell them I went to prison, but I came out. The subjects help. It takes discipline to get subjects, eh?
You don't have to tell me. As a youth with subjects, it takes discipline.
Yeah. That's why, yes.
Especially as a big man who now in a jail. Of course.
Yes, but I tell you, man,
of course.
I was disciplined in them. Yeah, man, I get up in the middle of the night and study me and I got to get these subjects. But yeah, I went to them and I played my case extensively. They were impressed. And she tell me, well, we're going to see if you find a space for you in the ministry that is suitable for what you have and we'll get back to you. A few months after, I get the call. So we have a spot. It's not teaching, but it's in the communications unit. We think you'll do well. They're dealing with interviews and writing articles and these stuff. You seem to have that quality or trait. We're going to give you an opportunity to work there. Yeah, I was super grateful. That was a dream come true. Because before I went to prison, I did a few construction, carpentry, Marriotts. But I had a dream, but I developed a dream in prison to work in a government office. Be a civil servant. That was a simple dream. I would never be a civil servant. So when I get that call to say, you could be working in an office for the government and by, you know, that was a real good, you know, self-esteem feeling. Yeah, when I get that job. And to even boost my self-esteem even more, my extremely good work ethics within this span of a few months, I was promoted in rank to deputy in the office. Yeah. Wow. Real good feeling.
Wow. So you basically have one of them powerful story there, brother. Like as somebody who has been actually rehabilitated, because if you check the stats, you know, a lot of people who goes to prison, especially for them a long time, it take long for them reach back in prison, you know. So
I've seen it. I've been in there for 10 years. I've seen the revolving door of the same prisoners, them going and on, you know. We see the vision as they call it. I've seen a lot of it. So yeah.
Now you get out of prison. Well, you did your time, you come back home, you get rehabilitated, you get a job, you assimilate to society. Now, last year, it was another brother who reached out to me and made me aware of your story. He was basically telling me about a situation where he's trying to get his record expunged because he has been struggling to find a job as an ex-con within St. Kitts Nevis, where him now want to go back into crime, but no, it's so difficult for him to get a job. Now, what's the status of that? Have your record been expunged?
No. There's this, you have to go through a procedure. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what I've been told is that upon release, if you spend a decade, 10 years out of prison without any allegations with the law, then you could make the request to get your record expunged. This is my 9th year.
Oh,
so
you're not
next year,
qualified
just
yet.
be alive. Yeah, next year, just be alive. I'm going to make the effort and see if I could get it cleaned up. But as it is, my record still stand, which, have some hindrance, bring about some hindrance in my life, such as, can I get appointed? No fault of this, anybody, that's my fault. I went and get my record messed up, but they have the rule that, so, the most they could have tell me, because I get the impression that they were willing, the superiors in the ministry, they were willing, are willing to appoint me, but they just can't do nothing because of that same criminal record. Of course, in terms of getting a visa, that's a major hindrance. So those, at one point in time, I wanted to leave where I was and go into the actual schools to do some teaching, right? Because I have a passion for teaching. I do it well, right? The criminal record, sorry, you can come into the schools to teach with a criminal record.
So even though you have changed, even though you have been rehabilitated, it lingers with you still.
Yes, it's still an impediment to some degree in various aspects of my life.
And one of the reasons why I wanted you come on the show, so I've been persistent in trying to get you on the show, because for the youth, them who feel like crime or violence or gang thing is the way out. This is definitely not, because look at you. Even after trying for so long to change, since 2015 you're out, you have not been back to that life, but it still follows you to this day, because you want certain opportunities and they have been denied to you because of that record. You know what I mean? And a lot of youths, they're on the other side of this criminal thing, where they're a memory. Them stuck in time. Yeah. They have died. So that whole violence thing, no kind of sense, bro.
No.
So now, as a ex-con, are you not somehow paranoid to the past coming back to haunt you, given the fact that you have changed?
At times, certain thoughts cross my mind. Certain paranoid thoughts, before I go certain areas, maybe that I once used to get involved with people against, the degree of, but the change in Nevis has been good. If I was in St. Kitts, I strongly believe, even though I came out of prison with the changed mindset, I would have been right back in there. That's where my past is.
So you definitely believe in the change of environment. That definitely helped your rehabilitation. Right.
Big time. Nevis has been good to me. I don't believe I could be wrong. I don't believe I would have gotten certain opportunities that I have gotten in Nevis had I lived in St. Kitts. Because even up to my girlfriend used to work Park Hyatt, right? A few years ago. And she would come home and tell me I want to people was good until she tell them, my boyfriend Raymond Gumbs. And mood change, certain things is being said, because that's where my past is. You know what I mean? So you'll quicker see somebody act a kind of way towards me in St. Kitts because of my past than Nevis. Yeah, because since I come out, it's just a pure positivity me a push. Yeah, so you just got to, most people just respect that and just allow me and let me be.
And you have never been tempted back into that life?
No. As I told you, perhaps if I was in St. Kitts, not even to say being tempted, but, I might have been a victim of an assault because affiliation and these type of stuff come in, a lot of people good, so I might have been a victim of that, and that within itself could have get me back involved, defending and, them type of stuff. But Nevis, Nevis that days,
So you basically try to avoid St. Kitts?
No, I go down there, but to live down there, I think living down there would have been
A
different than
story.
the occasional visits.
So about like, all right, in recent times we have seen where there was a peace program that somehow got disrupted. What's your thoughts on things like that?
Peace program?
Like in interventions, not just the peace program, but interventions by the government to kind of quash the crime thing.
Yeah, that is needed. Street man started the peace, the government didn't start it. But I think by them coming on board and implementing, certain policies and certain things to aid the street man them a bit from, this life of crime and, helping to eliminate certain temptations by giving them employment or whatever. I think it was really good. Yeah, because the devil find works for idle hand, idle brain is the devil's workshop. You know what I mean? It's always good to have programs in place that could. And don't tell me ain't everybody does come out to work. In the government, people could argue and say you got people on board who does no work but get paid. Why is it, one set of people could go in an office or on a board, ain't do nothing, maybe because of political affiliation, but get a position, getting paid every month. But it doesn't mean that they are no good workers and that the ministries or the board should shut down. It just means there are individuals who work in there who ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Now, we had a few people, I presume, in the peace program who maybe wouldn't come out and pull their weight and do what they're supposed to do. But that doesn't make the program bad, because there are those who came and did what they had to do.
And it changed a lot of lives.
It changed a lot of lives. It changed a lot of lives. I am one who is flummoxed and flabbergasted by the rampancy of negativity I see issue towards the peace program, because my peace is priceless. You know what I mean? You're saying don't pay criminals to preserve the peace, but to me at the end of the day, that's still better than what I go on by. Even if it's that you were doing, which I do not see that is that they were doing. Some people might have taken advantage, but I do not see it like it's that they were doing. But even if it's that they were doing, but I ain't a little better than this whole heap of bloodshed and mothers balling.
Because remember, the violence is not only affecting the quote unquote criminals.
No.
It affects regular civilians. So as simple as this.
The economy.
That may go to as simple as this. When violence is high, people are afraid to leave their houses to go to events. So the man will keep his small party and make a little food.
Yes.
Nah, make no money, brethren. Like as simple as that. The street vendors who would come outside, come set up outside of the people in party, or even pay the promoters to be on the inside. That little revenue stream there gone, because what? My man feel like, yo, if I got a party, I might just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So when people are in fear, even tourism, St. Kitts Nevis is a small place. It's easy to get an eye on the murder rate, like per capita. It's easy because the population is so small. So when America put out a trip advisory, do not go to St. Kitts because it's a violent place. The whole tourism sector get affected by that. So no. We have to pick a poison, basically.
Yeah. It's like choosing the lesser of two evil, as they say.
Yeah. If it boil down to paying,
which you prefer?
Yeah, if it boil down to paying the criminals to keep the peace, then I would rather that. Any day.
That within itself, of course, we will not recommend. But if the alternative to paying them to hold the peace is done the bloodshed and the killing and all the carnage or slaughter that does go on in the place. But to me, that's better. To me. And
next thing to me, is the politicizing of a societal issue. irregardless, bro, of whatever party is in power or out of power, I want peace. Me just no want the violence. So whatever has to be done to get rid of the violence, that's what I am about.
2 ways you could done war. You either kill all your enemy or you come to a peace treaty. And as simple as it may sound, you don't kill all your enemy. Up to now, Russia can get rid of little Ukraine. Like, that is harder to come by, that is harder to attain as a feat, an accomplishment than a peace treaty. A peace treaty is one of the most viable ways to end war. You're going to kill all your enemy because somebody, family, friend, member always coming up and looking to push your energy to avenge whomsoever you kill or whatever you do. Yeah, so those are the only 2 ways. You either going to kill all your enemy if you want peace, or you come to a common understanding and say, but we live in peace. That is much easier to do than the adverse.
That's the only option. Like, we need peace in our place. Yeah. Like, it's not nice, bro, when you go on social media, or you turn on the news, and or you hear on the show, somebody dead the other day, and the place so small that you know these people. You like, the sentence need is so small that 99% of who dies is somebody that I have interacted with. Like, it's so hard when somebody dead to illness. But I'm not going to funeral. I don't like funerals, God rest the dead. But if I know my mother or something when I have to go, me no want to go. The last funeral I go about 3 months it take me for get it out of my system, Like, me not like that. I know my thing that to deal with,
Yeah, feel it.
I love life. I want to see people live and love and laugh, That are my thing. Like, this whole, and if you really check the people them are the quote unquote gangster them who is at war, most of the time them don't really want war, It's just like a thing where it done how it is. So them just a defend something. Yeah. Some of the time them don't even know where the war for. Is it? But I think it's sad, man.
To not be a part of a war is something to be grateful for.
Trust me, bro. Trust me. I go to Trinidad.
Something to be grateful for.
I go to Trinidad and I see superstars. Youth with superstar potential. But because there is a war, them just basically surviving. Man with big hit song just surviving because there is a war. Like, them things they're not pretty, bro. I mean, see, like, enough youths are influenced by the music who feel like the in thing or the nice thing or the hot thing to do is to pick a number or pick a gang and push that.
Yeah.
So, bro, it makes no sense to me.
I love this quote from Haile Selassie, Emperor Haile Selassie, right? Where he said, certainly, and he make sure he emphasize certainly, I am a man of war, but above all, I am a man of peace. Kind of Selassie them had wars, kill a few people or whatever to defend the country and so. So he like, certainly, yeah, man, me a man of war, but above all, I prefer peace.
Boy, people who've been through real war, don't want war.
Oh, man. Perspective, we had times when back then before I went to jail and I in one farming full, right? At a point in time I leave Monkey and sometimes when I leave from Monkey to come town, it's all backtracks because of war. I feel to go on the main road to catch a bus or whatever, you know what I mean? So I just hitting the backtracks in Monkey, come down New Road, go down to Shadwell or to the track, go down, pure backtrack me a war because of war. Free to go on the front.
A prisoner in your home, in your own home country. Enough man live as prisoner in them home country, like them can't necessarily go this place or that place. Like, it rough.
Constantly paranoid. As I tell you, I don't live it. He had times me taking 10 steps unless I look back. That constant paranoia. and that then nowhere to live. Me prefer to know that me could walk 100 steps and then have to look back.
Unless you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because trust me, bro, that freedom there is priceless.
Yeah.
So finally, what's your advice to the youths of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, especially, for those who ain't already into deep. You know what I mean? Yeah. My advice is just don't war, you know what I mean, is the easiest thing to get in, the hardest thing to get out. The easiest way out is probably through death. You know what I mean? It's better not to get in because sometimes the further you go down the wrong road is the harder it is to find your way back home. You don't want to get involved in wars so deep that you can't find nowhere out, which unless it's something like hitting the next country or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? So you got those who season in it and for whatever reason they have to live a kind of way. You know what I mean? But I like to target those who might have one foot in or outside looking in and being fascinated by the lifestyle. You're better off staying out. They really no wins in wars like that. It's just basically nuclear survivors. You're better off staying out than getting into, them kind of war, any criminal activity. As a matter of fact, because the ramifications of it is not something that you're going to feel good about in the long run if they come your way, which is prison, death, maybe hospital. You know what I mean? So, in my humble opinion, it's better to gain a friend than an enemy.
Definitely.
Because when you gain an enemy, all his friends become your enemy
too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so choose love over fear. You know what I mean? And just be mindful, of course, of the company you keep, because when you laugh, the whole world laugh with you, as they say, but when you cry alone. So, you want to be able to be mindful of the companies you keep.
Right.
And don't let nobody tag you or brand you guilty by association as, the mistakes that happens, you know what I mean? So
definitely.
Them people who inside looking, outside looking in and maybe want to get in, my advice, I go on and speak to youths. You know what I mean? In various programs, I don't travel to Santo Domingo in front of USAID agents and, donors and ambassadors and so, giving tips about how I make the transition from one extreme to the next. You know what I mean? So I have a real passion to speaking to youths and people and trying to detour them from the similar path I took that robbed me or deprived me of a whole decade of my life.
And it's still robbing you to this day.
Still.
You know what I mean? But I remember we having a conversation and you tell me you have a book coming. When can we look forward to that book?
Yeah, man. A lot of people, as you say, people reach out to you and tell you of my story. A few people is, nobody want to hear a story of the person who born rich.
No, that's
you
not
want to hear the story of the person who born poor and went through a struggle. And that story is just more intriguing. So a lot of people like the story. As I've told it on various platforms. And a few people, have encouraged me to put pens to the papers and write a book. So I came to the conclusion, I will do it. You don't start. We are a few chapters in. I have my, someone assisting me with the editing and all that stuff. And my initial thought, because we're still in the embryonic stages of the book, but my initial thought as a topic heading for the book is resilience over recidivism, a better way out. Resilience over recidivism. He's a kind of big word fellow. So, but the simple in meaning, a recidivist is an individual who continuously go in and out of prison.
Definitely.
And, resilience is being able to overcome difficult situations. So that's the topic I have in mind, resilience over recidivism, a better way out. In the book, I want to share, a midlife story from children home days, and so that's one thing. But mainly in the book, I want to share the lessons I learned in prison because I learned many living in that institutions, right? One aspect of the book, which I want to put in, is I could recall in lockdown, where the back of the cell, you used to have pigeons come by and we used to feed them, go to the back with bread and feed them and so forth. And just because, I'm in prison and doing so much introspection and so, just by feeding pigeon every day, I come up with a whole heap of life experiences and philosophies, so to speak, for looking at prison. Like, for example, one time I throw out some bread on the flat surface, and all the birds them come there and eating the bread, but they're fighting for it. So the vast majority of the bread falling off while they're fighting, and then this one bird flew up to the top, and just hang on the bar. And so I started to feed it, and it just up there eating comfortable and being satisfied, while the others down there fighting over food that could have shared for each of them. But in the process, more than half of this food thrown. So like things like that, just doing that, I go into myself and, gold is as good as it's digging, Yeah. The deeper you go into yourself, the more gold you find within. So, those simple things that we look at and just bring life meaning to them, because of the environment I was living in. But sometimes it's better to separate from the crowd. But that's what I did by coming over here. Separate from the crowd that I once used to be around, come over here. So I just want to share like a lot of life stories, way more than I can say on this platform. A lot of life stories in prison that came to me, whether through deep meditation or just a specific experience behind those walls. That's the gist or the crux of why I'm writing the book, to teach about the lessons I learned in prison and to show and elucidate to others how I could have transitioned from being an extremely violent gang member / robber, whatever you want to call it, a criminal, a full-breed criminal, to then now being a motivational speaker, because I do that's what I do. A potential teacher. I taught in prison, I just can't do it because of the hindrance. And is deputy communication officer in the Ministry of Social Services, specifically in the communications unit. How did I come from that to that? All that, the answer will be in that book based on what I experienced in prison.
But if I one thing with your youth, you take accountability. A lot of people do wrongs and they tend to point the fingers. See, that person make me do that and that. But you point the finger at yourself. Yeah, man. So I definitely feel like this was a empowering conversation, and whoever made it to this point, I mean, respect to you, because that story, like, as me tell you, I've heard it before from like little pieces of it from people, and to hear the full thing or pieces of it, to be able to connect those dots now in my mind, like, big up to you, fam.
Yeah, man, respect.
Whole heap of respect to you, Yeah. And I appreciate the fact that you take your time out of your schedule to come talk to me, you know what I mean? Because contrary to what people may say or think, me actually appreciate the people who come and talk to me, you know what I mean?
I feel it.
Yeah, man, because it take time and effort.
That's true.
To do anything, like to just sit down and talk. You know what I mean? But to the youth who is watching this, I'm hope you're inspired to do better. If you're down that path, you know what I mean? Because all of our life they out there for us.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Life now in a jail cell, and even those, because couple months ago I find out that people in prison actually know what go on and watches the show. Even if you're in that position, there is a potential for you to be on the other side also.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? But big up in Ramie. Guidance for the journey,
Yeah, man, enough respect.
An amazing episode of the podcast. We're back home, St. Kitts and Nevis. Until next time, remember, like, share, subscribe. 2nd of November, V's Courtyard, now known as the Courtyard, Tricks and Freaks. Until next time.
Out.
Hoy, and I said nobody now believe it. Huh. Well, if them here say I beat it. Me and the pastor, me not go preach it to how we all it down. Yeah, man, it's Dejour, and I mean, giving you a different perspective on Perspectives Media. Easy.
Perspectives Media.